Hello YouTube, Kaladesh Gamer here with another Water Tank video, and of course the TT-130M. And probably you guys might get a little sick and tired of seeing this tank, but there's something I really want to discuss. Yes, it relates to the past couple of tanks that I been posting, water tanks with this TT-130M. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I really do like this tank. In my opinion, it's a good tank. The thing is, for some reason, this tank, I don't know, it's the algorithm or sheer bad luck, but the way it feels right now, uh, well, this is my perspective, my opinion. It feels like I've been performing well thanks to the tank's strength. It has clear weakness. The weakness is, in my opinion, tolerable and it's not an issue. Like, all right, to get the weakness out of the way, the weakness of this tank and its strength is that the weakness, it's slow. The gun is a Soviet gun, which means it's not a sniper tank. It is accurate enough to shoot somebody like 500 meters away. So you're capable, taking shots long range, but as a Soviet gun, it has bad gun depression and gun dispersion, but the dispersion is not terrible because it's meant to be a brawler tank, and the TT-130, it does have heavy armor. The armor is fantastic, which that's its biggest strength aside from the rocket boost. The rocket boost is another strength that this tank has, and in my opinion it's fantastic. Like the combination of rocket boost and heavy armor, you will literally feel like an assault heavy tank. A well, I want to say assault heavy tank, more like a breakthrough tank, but this tank is classified as a assault heavy tank, and it really does feel like it because you're like a shock trooper designed to be a frontliner and break through enemy lines. But ironically enough, it's not a breakthrough tank. If you guys have any idea what's the difference between a breakthrough and an assault heavy tank, then please leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear like what's the difference between the two. But anyway, back to the subject of the video. I really feel like I've been performing very well, especially the fact that I invested a lot in this tank. This tank right now it has a lot of experimental equipment. I think I have the experimental improved modular and the booster, like mobility booster. Aside from that, I also use vent, but I didn't use the default vent. I used the bounty vent just to get it better. But I noticed enhanced ventilation has more percentage stats than bounty, so I might swap it out and get the enhanced one. But what I am kind of baffled. Oh, and I forgot to mention the tank crewman. As of me making this video, all of my tank crews has three, I think three perks, if not four, but the fourth is currently like working towards being 100%. But all of the crew definitely has three completed perks, especially Brothers in Arm. Brothers in Arm is to make the stats of this tank marginally better, and it does feel better when you have Brothers in Arm 100% completed. So it does make a difference, and it makes this tank even better, especially with the gun handling, like the accuracy of the gun and the way it aims and the way you take shots. It feels a lot better. Aside from that, Deadeye perk is another perk that I have on this tank, which it does make a difference as well because you'll notice like you're gonna get a higher chance of modular damage, hitting your enemy. But anyway, enough about the stats and perks and all that. So, because I invested a lot in this tank performs way better, and I feel like personally, I feel like I've been doing well, like I've been performing well with this tank. And the weaknesses of this tank does not bother me because it's understandable weaknesses. This tank is a heavy tank. Its armor really does held up. I've been bouncing a lot of shots, and it feels like I was playing the Super Pershing all over again in the early days of War of Tank. This tank really does held up, especially against tier 10. Since it's a tier 9 tank, it does punch more above its weight, and it could definitely held its own against tier 10. And thanks to the armor, it also holds against tier 10, you know, cannons and rounds, especially premium rounds. If you guys don't know, premium rounds, especially for tier 10, the common ammunition is heat, and heat, its main weakness is space armor. This tank has fantastic space armor, both turret and hull, so you're gonna absorb a lot of damage, a lot of shots from explosives. So this tank could definitely deal against explosive and premium rounds. But despite all the advantages and despite, you know, manageable weakness, for some reason I keep queuing up with dead brain teammates and I lose. And I know that sounds very shallow and a little bit narcissist of me saying that me getting queue up with dead brain teammates, but it's the truth, guys. You're gonna see a footage right here. This footage that I'm showcasing, I'm literally trying my best to win and trying my best to pull my own weight for the team, but it wasn't enough. And thanks to my effort, despite that I lost, I won a lot of medals. You guys are gonna see the end of the first clip. I won a lot of medals and I got second mastery, and I performed very high in this game, and yet it was still a loss. Most of the time when I notice I'm in the dead team, like a dead brain team match, it's mostly what the team is doing. The most common thing that really gets to me, and this is why I get a little gamer rage, especially in Overwatch 2, is when the team that you're queuing up with don't care about winning and start acting very dumb to the point where it's kind of obvious like they're throwing, and they just, it makes everybody lose the game. In more tanks, I feel like if you're a tier 8 or tier 9 or 10 player, and if you don't know the basics of this game, I feel like you're throwing. I say that because there's a lot of common sense in this game, and War of Tanks is not a hard game to understand. Like, this game is super simplistic and it's chill. I like this game, and this is a very chill game. I It's super rare for me to get gamer rage, but there were moments when I was playing with the TT130M, getting bad queue up with bad team, and I've noticed when I'm in a bad team, the most common thing they do, and it really gets to me, is when they go out in the open area in front of the enemy team, not angling their tank towards the enemy properly. As a result, it exposes them, expose their weaknesses towards the enemy. And the enemy, obviously, they want to win. So, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to shoot and they're going to destroy, the player's tank. So, because of that, you know, you obviously it's gonna snowball to basically you losing the game. And as you can see in the footage right here, I lost, and despite that loss, I won a lot of medals, a lot of credits, and a lot of experience points thanks to my effort. But it was still a loss because of the bad team that I was in. In the next footage, you're gonna see me playing up against tier 8 and 7. And because I'm in a tier 9 tank, the TT130M is a tier 9 tank, it makes this tank feel overpowered, especially the fact that it has good heavy space armor and it's rocket boosted. But despite that, um, when I see a team like playing Brain Dead, it really gets to me because supposedly on tier 10, 9, and 8, you should already know the basics of this game. And tanks themselves, it's very like the most common perception of tanks is this: the frontal part of the tank is where the armor is mostly concentrated on. If you face your armor towards your enemy, you're gonna take advantage of the armor and you're gonna bounce a lot of shots, especially if you're on a heavy tank. Light tanks, they don't follow this rule because obviously light tanks, they're meant for scouting and they're super fast. They're fast because they basically have no armor. So you gotta rely on map knowledge, you gotta rely on stealth, pushes, basically whatever on the map, and rely on your teammates to do the damage while you do the spawning. Sorry guys, got a little hiccup there. But heavy tanks, because they're heavy, and I know it sounds like common sense here, but I really feel like I gotta say it because I've seen games where teammates, they just don't care, like they just go out in the open, expose their weaknesses, and the enemies, they're obviously gonna take advantage of that and get free credits and experience points because of that. When you expose your weaknesses are usually your sides and your rear. The sides and the rear are the most common place for players to exploit. I shouldn't be really saying this. I feel like I shouldn't even say as if I'm doing a tutorial run in this video, but still, like, it really bothers me when I see that. I really don't know if there's a conspiracy against the TT130M, but it feels like I've been queuing up with very bad teams, and majority of the time, teams, they don't really care. When I do win, it's ma- mainly because of good luck. Here in the second footage, you're gonna see me winning, but that's because I queue up finally with a good team. And you're gonna see me towards the end of the video that I was hovering the cursor around the win rate because I have a very low win rate, but that's because I've been having such a bad games with this tank. Not because of the tank itself, but more because of the matchmaking. And this is why I was combining in this video, I'm combining two different footage. One where I lost, but I performed very highly, and the second I won. But what's funny is that the second footage I kind of performed mediocre or average or below average at worst. But I did my part, like I pulled up my weight, but thanks to the team, I won. So yeah, I should have lost in the moment when I got a little reckless, but still, I won thanks to the team. Like Water Tanks is partially a team game, guys. And basically, what I'm trying to say in this video is that you guys gotta pull your own weight when it comes to water tanks. I really don't know, like, what's wrong with the algorithm with this tank. I feel like there's a conspiracy against this tank. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys, because I feel like I ranted enough, and I'm basically vomiting my words around. But still, the TT130M is not a bad tank. It's, in my opinion, it's a good tank, and I love it because it's a heavy tank. You truly feel like a heavy tank. The weakness is manageable. It's, in my opinion, it's tolerable, especially the fact that it's a heavy tank. Because it's a heavy tank, the sluggish is forgiving, but the armor is fantastic. And the rocket boost, you'll feel like a medium tank or at best a fast medium tank. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Please like and subscribe, comment in the comment section below. I do read them, all the jazz, and enjoy the rest of the video. I really don't know why I keep having bad luck with this tank, but it's not a bad tank. Calidus Gamer, over and out.